Teen Tech Vlog, here again with Bai.
Yep.
And we're going to be talking about something a little bit different than everything we've been talking about so far. Because the name of this channel is Teen Tech Vlog. So, so the first big thing is, I guess, for tech is, you're more of a general kind of tech user, right?
I am. I'm very
the average one. And
yes.
I'm more of a tech savvy, kind of like a connoisseur, especially when it comes to Apple. Big Apple sheep here.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the first thing is, for the audience to know, what is your main device of choice?
Like
for phones,
cell phone. I pretty much always go with Apple products.
All right, so you're rocking right now an iPhone 6s, right?
Yes.
Right. All right. Cool. And then for computing purposes, you have the Surface Pro 4.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Surface Pro 4 with like 8 gigabytes of RAM. And like medium specs, they were getting too expensive after a certain point.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. All right, so I'm gonna just talk to you about some things that are going on in the tech world right now, and see what you would rather have. Right.
All right.
For this purposes, I will. For anything that requires me modeling my what I'm talking about, I will just use my phone to point out stuff to you.
All right.
All right. So, do you know what happens on Monday, June 5th?
Monday, June 5th, I do not.
Right, so every year Apple hosts a conference called the Worldwide Developers Conference, where they show off the next version of what the operating systems they have will look like. You usually get this when the next iPhone comes out, right? Like around September, you'll get a new software update that'll add some cool new features.
Yeah.
Right? But they'll show off Mac OS, which doesn't really matter to you. Mm. You have a new Apple TV, right?
Yeah, I think it's the newest model.
So they'll show off the next user interface for that. You don't have an Apple Watch, but they'll show off the next WatchOS 4, and then they'll show off iOS 11. So just starting to hear, let's first talk about some of the rumors, because for iOS 11, how would you feel if where there was light stuff, it was more dark stuff, like it would be a dark mode?
Dark mode. What do you mean by that? Like, can you repeat that?
Yeah, so I'm going to actually show you. So, take the Messages app, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's all very, very light colors, very white. Imagine if it was a lot darker. So, especially when you're at night, there's not as much bright light to harm your eyes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I guess that kind of, what you said kind of reminds me of, I suppose an inverted colors.
Yeah, kind of like an inverted colors option, but it's not necessarily right. Like all the blue buttons wouldn't suddenly turn orange. They might still stay blue, but it'd just be a more subdued.
So a nighttime option, in which basically a lot of the colors just become darker.
Yeah.
And stuff. Okay, that'd be interesting. Yeah. That'd have its uses.
So there's a lot of talk about this happening. There's been talk about this for quite a while now. Okay. I actually have a jailbreak tweak on my iPad that basically tries to do this. Now, there's a lot of talk that if this feature does indeed end up happening, it'll only be for the next iPhone, maybe not even the 7S and 7S Plus, but more so the iPhone 8 or X or Edition or whatever they choose to call it, because that will have an AMOLED screen. Do you know what an AMOLED screen is?
No, I do not.
Or an OLED screen?
LED as in light?
Yes, a light-emitting diode. An OLED screen is an organic one. Basically, if you're viewing something on your screen, if it's black, because an LED, the way it lights up, the way it's used, is a backlight lights up all the pixels at once, right? The way an OLED screen works is that each pixel can be lit up individually. So general consensus with the dark mode would be that if there's black on the screen, the pixels just won't light up, so it'll use more battery, so it'll save battery life. So how would you feel then if they came out with the feature, but it was only for the iPhone?
Well, it sounds like with the whole saving battery thing, that would be actually pretty useful, because it also sounds like it doesn't seem to change much at all.
But it won't affect your phone, right? So you won't get that. Would you rather you get that feature, but it still takes up the same amount of battery life, or have it only be reserved for the phones that can truly take advantage of the feature?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd probably prefer to have it, but you said it does not, it would not?
It wouldn't really change anything about your battery life, because your pixels are still all being lit up at once.
Well, then that probably wouldn't matter then. I just don't really think it would change much at all. So
it's more of a form thing than a functional thing. No, it's all software.
Okay, all software.
For your phone, it would be all software. For the next one with the OLED screen, it'd be more. You don't necessarily need the bright colors if you can save battery. Get where that's going?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like actually it probably wouldn't be too big of an issue if it wasn't on. If it wasn't on mine, I don't think it would be too big of an issue.
Would that make you want to get the latest iPhone, the latest and the greatest, if it had that feature and that OLED screen?
That would probably not influence me wanting to get the next one very much. Because I know iPhone 7 already has very much improvements, very many improvements when it comes to battery life. So really, I mean, I don't think that would actually do much at all.
All right.
To increase my desire for the newest model.
Fair enough. All right. The next big thing that they're talking about is that there might be a Siri speaker unveiled.
Okay.
At WWDC, so next week on Monday. It would be very similar to how Alexa, Amazon's devices works, or the Google Home works.
Right.
So I want to pose to you two different things. One is what everyone thinks will happen, and one is what I think what I want to happen, and I want your opinion on what you think. First one is just your standard, just like Amazon Alexa or Google Home. It's got Siri built into it. Okay. Second one is with Apple's AirPods, they came up with a chip called the W1 chip. So right now, a lot of devices use Bluetooth 4.0. Which has a decent enough range.
Okay.
And Bluetooth 5.0 is coming out. It's actually already in the Galaxy S8.
Okay.
But this W1 chip actually has a lot stronger range than Bluetooth 4.0. It's been tested with the AirPods. So my idea is for the Siri speaker to have the W1 chip instead, and then when you walk in with your iPhone, because your iPhone already knows voice recognition, you can say, "Hey Siri," and I can say, "Hey Siri," but it would know which one's talking to it, so you could be like, "Call this person," and it would know whose phone to use.
Wow, okay, that actually sounds very advanced. I mean, I don't really know too much about, Google Home and Alexa, but I'm not going to lie, what you just said makes it sound like whenever Apple enters this, they're going to be already ahead.
So, let's say they price it at $149. Probably too much of a stretch. Probably going to be somewhere around $300.
Okay.
But if you had the cash, would you go out and buy version 1 where it's just bare bones like Alexa and everything, where it can do simple commands like play music and stuff and control smart lights if you have it or anything? Or would you prefer the second one where it knows who it's talking to and can do a lot more things?
If money was not very much of an issue, probably have to go with Apple with the newer, more advanced model.
Well, there's not one out yet. So one is the one that I want them to do, and one is what a lot of people think they will do.
Okay.
So my other thing is, would you rather this has a screen on it or not have a screen on it? Because Amazon was very big on this. You don't need screens for a virtual assistant when they came out with the Amazon Echo. And I don't know if you keep up with this, but recently they announced, now we're doing an Amazon Echo, but with a screen. So you can video chat other people that have the same Amazon Echo.
Seems an awful lot just kind of something you can do without.
Yeah. So would you rather have it with a screen or not have it with a screen? Because my thing is you could probably also have it as a dock for your phone and then be able to use that.
That's interesting. You know what I feel like would kind of be handy is if, well, I don't know, but maybe if they did one that has a screen and then one that doesn't have a screen, and then make the one with the screen probably just
$100 more expensive,
or mildly, a little bit more expensive.
Well, it's Apple. If they're gonna make something more expensive, they're gonna go all out.
Yeah.
My next big thing to you is that there's a lot of talk that with the next iPhone, probably whichever one's gonna be the latest greatest, not the regular 7S and 7S Plus, there's no longer gonna be a home button.
Yeah.
So have you seen the new MacBook Pros by any chance?
No.
So they get rid of the function keys, and instead it's a touchscreen they call the touch bar.
Okay.
And what it does is it's contextually aware of whatever app you're in, so it can give you more controls. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's so stupid. But I actually went and got to play with one, and it makes more sense, right? I'm a person who strongly, strongly believes touchscreens can be in a lot of places and be really great. One place where they suck is on a laptop. And I say this as a person who's owned a touchscreen laptop. I thought it was so stupid to have to be like typing something and then, oh, I gotta click something. I could use the mouse right here, but instead I would have to go tap that, right?
Yeah.
And then always when you push it, like, here, hold out your hand for a second. Don't be too firm with it, right? But if I gotta push it, then the screen's gonna go back a little bit,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
There's lots of trouble. So when I went to go like play with it and use it, in fact, my sister got one and I got to set that up for her. It was super simple. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna talk about an app that pretty much no one ever uses, right? But it's a good example. Calculator app.
Right.
No one uses that, right?
Pretty much not.
But if you were, I could type right here, right? So I have this old-timey keyboard here. Kids don't know about these days, right? So I have the numbers right here to type, and then the touch bar changed to controlled. So I can do add, subtract, multiply, divide, percentage, everything's right there and hit equal without ever touching, without ever moving where my hand's already positioned.
That'd be interesting. It seems like it'd make it easier.
And then for Word documents, you're typing, and then you've got to back in 3, 2. All right. But you can, you have to move the mouse to bold, italicize, or do the touchscreen. But on this one, it's more like, okay, I want to bold something. I'm already typing. There, bolded it. There, done.
Right.
So there's a lot of talk that it's just going to be replaced with a functionary. That's the latest talk. I actually created an iPhone concept that I'm going to be sharing very soon on the internet. But it calls it the home bar, right? And it's all very contextually aware of what's going on. So if I'm in messages, because as phones get bigger and bigger, it's harder to reach these corners up here, right? Especially for one-handed use. So for messages, put the compose button down here instead.
Okay.
Right? And then now there's more talk, but would you prefer that they keep the Touch ID?
Where? Oh, you mean as opposed to on the back?
Yeah, on the back. So there's lots of talk they might not be able to figure it out. Would that discourage you from buying a future iPhone if the Touch ID moved to the back?
I don't really think it'd be much of a deal to me. I don't think it would really sway my opinion actually where it was. So no, I don't think it'd do much at all for changing my opinion of the new.
What do you feel though about them removing the home button instead of having a bar that is contextually aware? Would that be able to rationalize to you or justify a higher price for that phone?
Maybe just a tiny bit higher price, but I don't know. So I assume obviously you would still use Touch ID. I just wouldn't have one specific spot I could touch.
Well,
it, right?
It still would be down here somewhere if they figured out how to put the sensor underneath the screen.
Okay. That seems like it'd be a bit easier, but then again, it wouldn't really save much time.
Yeah. It would be more so for apps. So let me go. And again, developers would be the ones figuring out exactly what all it can do. But let's say I go to Snapchat, right?
Okay.
Instead of those buttons being right there, they're just right there. Or I can access the flip camera down here instead. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Or be able to access the flash or anything. Turn into Barry Allen.
That would be, I guess that'd be easier, probably more ideal, but not too much more ideal.
I don't know. Of course, they're going to come out with something and be this is the way we think you should use it. And I think, then it'll be all right, now that we know what it's being used for, then we can truly, truly talk about it.
I don't think it would be able to justify too, much of a higher price. But,
I don't know.
It'd probably be a bit more, beneficial, maybe a bit more advantageous, but not significantly.
All right, next iPhone. What do you, an average tech user, wants to see? What do you want to see?
Honestly,
I'm guessing better battery, right?
Yeah, better battery, even though we do got to take into account that iPhone 7 did improve battery a lot.
Yeah. And we don't want our phones to explode because they push the boundaries.
Yes. Honestly, probably the biggest thing I want, actually, is just more color options.
Really?
Yeah, did you see what they did with, They now have red iPhones.
Yeah, it's the special edition for product red iPhones.
Yeah, and then I think they also came out with blue, didn't they?
They did not yet. No.
Or is something about in talks for
It
making
was
blue?
so you know the jet black color that came out.
Yeah,
that was originally thought last year to be a very nice blue color. So hopefully we might get to see a blue color and the red stay.
I thought what they did with making a red iPhone was fantastic because not only did it look great, it also served a bit of a purpose. It looked great, and also I think I love what they did with it in the sense that they made it have a purpose by making it red. Like when you purchased the red iPhone,
the money goes to fight.
Went to to fighting AIDS.
Yeah, but I mean, all of their red products have really done that. If you think about it. Let me ask you a question. So, when the red edition came out, there was a lot of internet uproar, and the people who were doing a lot of uproar didn't understand that the product red company, the charity, their colors are red and white. But a lot of people were upset that the front of the iPhone was white instead of black.
Really?
Do you think the color combo would look better with black, or?
I think it'd probably look. I think it's about as good either way. I actually didn't even know that the front was white, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. I actually like that more, I think.
See, I like it, but a lot of people actually were in lots of uproar. I do understand, though, there was also an uproar because they color matched the little circles around the Touch ID.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have a silver one, it'll be silver. If you have a black one, it'll be
right,
gray.
Yeah.
If you have a gold one, it'll be gold. But the red one just has the same silver one. I think that's kind of a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay, more color options. Let me ask you this.
That was actually one of the reasons why I kind of wanted... Why I chose a 5C over a 5S.
For colors.
I wanted color. Like, I had... at first, I was kind of like...
if you want color on that one, I can change the back of it for you. No, I'm serious.
Maybe later, but
let me ask you this. So, the iPad Pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big iPad came with 3 little circles on it. They call it the Smart Connector. And it can pass data, and it can pretty much charge any battery, or like it can pass power as well. My question to you is: would you like to see that on the next iPhone? So, think about it, modular phone cases. Right, so they attach through there, so you don't have to hog up the lightning port with the battery case, and it can charge through there, and docks and everything.
That'd be...
and it could also open the door to, not necessarily wireless charging, because I hate that term, because it still has wires, but pad charging, where you just put your phone on a pad, and it'll start to charge.
I feel like that'd be very interesting. I feel like definitely they could move in that direction. I don't think it'd be a very bad idea, especially with removing the audio jack. Makes it where there's a lot more emphasis on
charging and listening to music at the same time.
And so if you were able to charge using like a pad or whatever, like how they have with the Samsung, in which is like a little circle.
Yeah.
You just put it on top, and that charges it. That would be good. Or even maybe add on to the... Well, I don't know about this, but maybe you could do, I suppose, what Samsung's doing, in which you can just literally just pop in a new battery.
Yeah.
That'd be probably copying too much. But
I also don't like the idea of the removable batteries, especially in the hands of a lot of idiots these days. Someone will puncture a battery. That's more of a power user feature, right? You don't see the average Joe Schmo just hey guys, I can replace my battery. What can you... that's a talking point. No one really cares.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but, a little surface in which you can put your phone down and charge it.
Yeah.
That would be great, actually, now that I think about it more and more, because with that increased emphasis on the charging port, that would actually be
So
good.
Speaking of the charging port, this is something I don't see happening, but a lot of people are talking about it. You like the lightning port. That's the name of the port. Do you like it?
Yeah, lightning port, yeah.
What do you think if they switched it to USB Type-C? It's the same kind of reversible port. It can still kind of do everything the normal port can do. It's just a different wire, which means that all of your old wires would be incompatible.
I would not like that, because then that would mean all of the chargers
But it would
that
also
I have would eventually, over time, become obsolete.
But it would also mean more future-proofing, because USB-C is supposed to be the port of all ports. Like, this is supposed to be the last port ever.
The last port ever.
They want USB to be on everything within the next 5 years.
Well, I mean, if the whole world feels that way, then I guess iPhone's probably gonna have to go that direction too.
So here's the thing, though, is that first of all, you'd be able to find cheaper wires on Amazon because Apple won't be the only one making them. So that's the first big thing. The second thing, though, is that was also what Lightning's point of existing was when they announced the iPhone 5 was this is the port of the next decade, and then hopefully we won't need ports by then. And Apple had a hand in also creating USB-C. So, yeah. But, do you have any closing remarks on all of this? Like,
what I want to see in the next iPhone is more color options.
Okay, what do you want to see in the next iPhone update?
iPhone update. Shit, I don't know.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know. Well, I mean,
I
guess more battery power is like a hardware thing.
Yeah, but I guess the way they conserve battery life and the way everything happens, that's more of a software thing.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Good talk.
Good talk.
If you like this video, please like it. If you disliked it, go ahead and dislike it. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe and hit the little bell icon. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave a comment, and yeah, we'll get back to you. You have anything to say?
Nope. Peace out.
Peace out, Girl Scout.